What's up, and welcome to another episode of Brew and Build. Today we are back here in our little big custom landscape. I should be accurate with my language. And I hope you enjoyed that quick little time lapse at the beginning. I figured this is how this is going to get made. I'll just be doing chunks of it in just real quick time lapses, maybe at the beginning or in the middle or whatever. Just to give kind of progress updates. And this is, it's quite a bit of progress, as you can see. And this is getting to the level of deepness that I want. This area in particular is going to be shallower because it is getting closer to the waterfall, and it just doesn't need to be super deep. Water is like flowing this way. It's not necessarily needing to carve its way through anything right now. And so it's less a river and more of just a lake with a gentle sort of stream going. I did do some work here getting this reworked. So originally we had something in the middle that made this actually it was like almost flat all the way across, and I didn't like it. So what I've done is I've lowered it down to this level, and it kind of drops off at the end, and I think that's more realistic for one, and two, it helps make this feel deeper here where it's flowing. And then I also swapped out a lot of the textures that were here for coarse dirt and regular dirt. Actually, I didn't do much in the ways of regular dirt, just did coarse dirt, and I think this is better. It goes better. And so the deeper portions I'm thinking are going to essentially, well, most of this is just going to be the coarse dirt, gravel, and dirt. And then I think I'm going to take all of this out from up here and just use this on the deepest portions of the lake because it'll give a nice dark effect. And then I'll also be throwing in some basalt just to give a little bit of stone feel, but not too much. But look at this. This is a pretty big area. And yes, this is all gravel right now, and it's just easier to do it with all gravel. I don't need to do the texture variation right now because we are going to be coming through and doing a whole different pass through of this entire lake river portion that is going to include slabs and other blocks and materials and bone mealing and all that once it's actually filled with water. And so, yeah, it doesn't right now need all the texture variation, but we will be coming back through once a good chunk of it. I think once the bridge once we're on the other side of the bridge by a little bit, I think that's when we will make a diagonal wall all the way across out of we may just make it out of gravel because it's really easy. And we'll just make it so that we can fill this entire chunk with water and really then sort out the waterfalls. I think that is a better way to kind of go about it. And so today what we're going to be doing is, what I'd like to do is plan a little bit of this area here, the town. I don't necessarily want to tackle this section right here yet. I want to tackle the town for a couple of reasons. One, it'll give us a good starting point and a project that we can continually come back to whenever the grind of this landscaping is getting just boring or overwhelming or anything. We can kind of come back and do the town. And it's also, I think this is the town that is going to be this area, and so I'd like to get started on that, plus then we can kind of start on the bridge as well. I don't know exactly how much we're going to get done today because it's quite a big area. So my goal, I think, is to raise all of this up by, I don't know, 10, 15 blocks, whatever maybe this high, I think, potentially about this high. These two sides I want to be pretty much the exact same height, just so it's easier to build the bridge. And then I want to, raise this up, make it all one big flat platform, and then also figure out how we're going to be laying out the platforms of the town, because it's not all going to be flat. We're going to have multiple different platforms that lead up to this area, and I actually may make sort of a ravine that goes down in between where there has to be a bridge that leads up to this, or this is just so much higher that you have to have a bridge that goes and connects up. But regardless, that is all sadly going to have to be, I think, in time-lapse form, because there ain't no way that I can do all of this on camera. Like, look how big it is. It's not even loading in. It's ridiculous. So let's go ahead and jump back into a time lapse. But this one, I'm going to be discussing with you some fun stuff that I've actually been taking on in my personal life. Just a fun little challenge. And it's also going to help, I think, with the texture pack, just making it that much better. So if you're interested in that, definitely stick around. I'm going to have a nice conversation around that. So without further ado, let's jump on into a time lapse. So very briefly, this time-lapse not very long, so don't have a ton of time to talk, but I am taking a pixel art course to it's a really short course, but it's just a little pixel art class to get better at making pixel art, which is exactly what texture pack making is, just on a much smaller scale. And so I think it's going to be a really fun time. I'm already learning quite a bit. So any texture pack work that I'll be doing is going to be, I think, put off until I finish this, just because I don't want to make anything and then learn something that would have made me do it differently. But it's been really fun. A couple of things that are on screen are just what I've been able to work on so far during this class, just figuring out how to make sprites and stuff, how to interact with lighting and stuff in pixel form, and add texture and stuff to a drawing or something like that. It's been really fun, and I've been having a good time. But yeah, I just wanted to say that that's kind of what I've been doing in my real life. And so any texture pack work that's going to be happening, I'm going to just hold off until I learn some more or finish this course or whatever. The goal is to finish it pretty soon. I don't want it to like go on for super long. It's not a really long course anyways. And yeah, and so I thought I also may do some pixel art stuff just for fun. I also thought of doing like pixel art for some sketches and some concept-y type of stuff, similar to what we did for the general idea. I thought it could be kind of cool to go into a little bit of pixel art of like what we want a building to look like or what we want a landscape area to look like, just to push myself as a designer and also to kind of flesh a concept out. I think that could be really fun. And so I think that'll be it for this time lapse. As I said, very short, not a lot of time, but hopefully you enjoyed just hearing about it, and look forward to hopefully some better texture making that comes out of this pixel art course that I'm taking. Alrighty, so this has taken me a little bit longer. You can't see anything right now, but it's definitely taking me longer than I expected. I mean, I expected it to take quite a while, but you can start seeing it loading in here. This is, I mean, I'm happy with the progress so far. I was hoping to be able to get more of the, like I've got the shape of it done and the cliff like sides done, like the general shape of it. Obviously we'll be going through everything and detailing it all, but the general shape is good. But I started the dirt and then I've kind of stopped because I realized where this would put us in terms of being able to release a video on time. Yeah, so I want to keep releasing on a moderately normal schedule. I've been moderately decent about doing weekly videos, and I want to keep that. So gonna cut this video a little shorter than normal, but there's still a little bit more that we're gonna do here so that we can be set up for the next episode. So this whole cliffside is now done in terms of having a lot of the stone laid out. Now I left a chunk here open. Reason being is because I know that that side is going to be going down a bit, because there has to be some form of connection to the lower portions here. Now most of this area I'm thinking this area that's closer is going to have some connection bits that are going to be, there we go, that are going to be like reaching up to connect to this. So there's going to be a little bit of this big area here that is going to be taken up by some cliff sides that are going to be essentially like directing the path up. I'm imagining it's just going to be a major, like a road of some form. Actually, no. At first I was thinking it would need a road, but now I'm realizing, yes, it doesn't need to be a major road though, because this is for farmland and or connection to this island and or like a little dock area. So it doesn't need like a major sort of cliff section now that I think about it. In my mind, I was thinking there needed to be like a major roadway down. And so I'm thinking actually what we'll do is maybe they have made some form of either a bridge up, or maybe they've found we can make like a more natural switchback almost that is kind of either carved into it, or there are some like lead up rocks that they've been able to sort of maneuver around and or like craft their own roadway up. I'm not sure. I'll have to look up some inspiration for that because I haven't really thought about it. But I've left this side open most of the way over here just for that because I don't know what that's going to look like. But as you can see, this is quite a lot of stone. I believe this is roughly 16,000 stone or something like that. It's no small thing. I also have put in some more land up here, and you can kind of see more of this area here. And this area, if I can get up here, this is going to be putting more into perspective how big the actual keep is going to be. Because I've had a little bit of a revision on my original plan. The original plan started right there, and this entire chunk was all going to be the keep, and it was the manor. I think I'm gonna make it a manor because I don't want it to necessarily be a castle. And I kind of explain why, but you'll I think understand a little bit more once we actually get to building this, which probably won't be for a little while. But the manor was gonna be that big, but then I was like, I think what would be actually really cool is we have the main lake area here. And then we have this waterfall here, but then I was thinking it would actually be kind of cool. What if the water came all the way up against the castle and actually had a connection bit here to where there had to be a bridge between the town and the sort of manor. And I think that is a really cool concept. And so the size of the manor is actually going to be roughly that big right here. This is how big it's going to be. There may be some cliffs that we make that this thing is going to be like, I don't know how to explain it, but imagine like a super fantasy sort of like, it's not just straight up. I want it to like extend like 20 blocks out over the waterfall. Like the cliff is sort of propelled out and the houses extend even further out. Like make it look so dramatic and so not realistic, but like fantasy, super fantasy, basically. Like that type of house where you're like, I don't know how that's working. It looks really cool, but there's absolutely no way that would actually work in real life. And of course, like none of this actually works in real life, most likely. But that's kind of the goal. And so I thought this was it makes for a really interesting thing because we can have the waterfall section here. We can have it'll still be a waterfall. But it's not going to be like rapids or anything. There would never be any sort of rapids up here as there are here. So this would be a little bit of a calmer waterway. And so we can have some town stuff that like extends down, and we can have like a small dock area, maybe a little stretch of land down here, just to add a little bit of flair so we can have some life down here as well, not just water. And then we can have a connection piece over here. This is all like water, and it extends over this way to the other side of where the waterfalls are going to be on this side, because this entire area over here is going to be waterfalls as well. And so it'll extend over here and really like make it feel like the town is actually pretty much surrounded fully. Actually, it would be almost fully surrounded by water. And the castle keep manor thing is the only thing that has like the side that goes all the way down and doesn't have water touching it. I thought that was a really cool concept and something that I think is going to be actually a really fun thing to explore and make it more interesting. But I'm running out of time for this episode because of how much time I spent expanding this. Like this, it's not a huge area that we expanded, but I mean, you have to imagine how much actual stone and gravel this is to place, and I want to do this all right. I don't want to be shirking the work. If you know that phrase, don't want to shirk the work, and I don't want to rush it either. And so I don't want to rush these types of videos and stuff, and so there just may not be as much progress in the videos as I like. And so I'm trying to think of better ways to do this giant grind work. This is why a part of me really wishes that I did like stream, because this is so dull to work on sometimes without being able to talk. Now I've been able to attend like Drathmorg's streams, and I've been able to I've been watching Foolcraft, BOO's Foolcraft, because I haven't seen that series in a while and I wanted to rewatch it. So that's been helping, giving me entertainment and kind of background noise. But it would be really nice to be able to stream. And so I know not right now I won't be able to, but I'm really asking my family for Christmas to be able to upgrade my PC, because I probably would never stream with like camera or anything like that, because no face reveals here. This is the only face you need to know. No, it's mainly just because I don't want to, and I don't have an office for that right now, and I don't want to like. I want Emma to be able to like move around in the house and not worry about like being a quote unquote on stream. And so it would be nice. I think that would be a nice thing to be able to just stream and hang out. I don't know if I'm any good at streaming. You definitely have to have the knack for it. But if anything, it would be nice to have sort of some friends to talk to while doing this. Yeah. So kind of thinking through that and trying to think through how to go about doing this without just blowing my brains out, because it's a lot of work, and I am loving how it's turning out. I'm really like, I have that full end picture already in my head, and I already know exactly what everything. I don't know what this bridge is going to look like, but I know what it's going to look like, and I think it's going to look awesome, and I'm super pumped for it. But I need to I need to do a lot of building in order to get a lot of progress done. So what I'm thinking for the end of this video is we're going to end with a time lapse of me essentially just filling this in. And just going to have some music and stuff. So feel free, if you don't like time lapses and stuff, feel free. You can click off. Doesn't matter to me. But this is just kind of what I need to do. I started, as you can see, this area starts going down, and I started trying to detail it. And then I kind of realized it would be really good if I could actually like have this entire area flattened out and kind of laid out with stone and grass. And the reason why this is gonna take even longer is because I want to do a layer of stone, a layer of dirt, and a layer of grass. And so yeah, maybe it's just masochist of me to want to do that, but I just think that would be nice so that we never have the chance of falling all the way down. And yeah, don't know. But let's go ahead. We're going to jump back into another time lapse. Sorry for all the time lapses, but it's all this grindy work that just has to be done in order to start on the town and stuff. And hopefully once we get land, we can actually start laying out and planning out the town. So let's jump back in and get back into a time lapse, and then I'll wrap it up, or that will be the end of this episode. Psych! We're not going to be doing a time lapse because that was going to be a really boring time lapse, and I've just gone ahead and I've done it. It was going to be really boring. It was literally just placing a layer of stone and then a layer of dirt, and it's nothing to look at. I have stopped. I did not do the grass layer because of a couple things. I want to be able to plan out and lay out the city before we get grass in, because this is not going to be all flat. We're going to have like the bridge comes here, And so then I want to have like a little bit of cliff section here that blocks the road from being able to just go straight on in. I want the road to have to kind of go along this way and wrap around and then enter through. There'll be a town square and then kind of comes out over here. And the sides of the cliffs are not going to be flat like this. It's not going to be all one level. We're going to have, similar to what I had started on this side here, it's going to have some dip down parts, but I didn't know how to plan those because I don't know what the town is going to be like. So we need to plan out the town, and that is going to be next episode. So I figured let's just leave it here. One weird kind of thing, minus those trees, you have no vantage point about, like, you don't know how high you are, how like this could be the ceiling if you really wanted it to. But guys, I think that's gonna have to do it for this episode. I'm sorry that it's not interesting stuff, honestly. This episode I know is not like horribly interesting, and I am sorry about that. But it's just the groundwork, quite literally, that we need to get done in order to do this next episode of planning out the town and starting in, like, maybe we'll even get into the build style, because I have a build style in mind and kind of have some concept art to go off of, but I don't really honestly know what the build style is like, and so that'll be kind of fun to get into, but this needed to get done because, man, oh man, now that it's done, I am really looking forward to being able to kind of halt progress on like just all this land making and terraforming, and to be able to kind of do some more creative work, because this is all grind work. This is not creative work at all. It's literally just placing blocks. Also, you know what's crazy? This is pretty crazy. I died down here because an Enderman, I accidentally looked at him and then he slapped me around on top of a jungle tree. So this is kind of a fun thing that, one nice thing about the fact that we're doing a jungle is the fact that, you know, we get this crazy landscape underneath, and I think it's going to be a really cool one, actually. It's going to feel like a lost underground sort of lush cave, if you will. That's kind of cool. But this is pretty massive. Honestly, take a look-see at this. So these are level 1 rockets. You can't even get, like, you can basically get all the way across. But from here to there is a level 1 rocket worth of size. This is a good view to leave off on, and as I said, sorry again for not having too terribly of interesting of a video, I guess, here up like for this. It's just we needed to get it done and out of the way, and you can see quite a bit of progress has been done. I'm very happy now that we have a place to be able to start building our town, and so I think I'm going to focus on that a bit more, and on my own time, not on videos or anything, I'll make small little additions down here, because I would enjoy getting up to the bridge diagonal done, or honestly like up to that edge, I think, and then diagonally across. I think that would be a nice first step for this before we start putting water in, because then we can actually come back through and work on the waterfall and the cliffs. And now that the town is in, I can kind of get a nice view. Once we figure out how exactly tall it's going to be, I can start working on this, putting in more cliffs along this side, and I think overall it's going to be very nice. This is a good step in the right direction, and it was work that needed to be done. And now that it's done, I am looking forward to being able to do a little bit more creative work. But that's going to do it for this episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Hope you were looking forward to this. Hope you can appreciate how much stone and dirt have gone into this, because I have definitely come to appreciate how massive that area is. And yeah, so I hope you liked the video. If you did, leave a like in real life, and if you are new here, feel free to hit the subscribe button and slap the little bell to turn notifications on, because we are going to be here for quite a while, and it's going to be a fun time. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.